Hey, welcome to Panem Project. My name is Joseph, and in this video I'll be replacing brake rotors for the first time in my life. Last week I took my car to Firestone and they quoted me $1,100 to replace the front and rear brake rotors and brake pads. It was a bit more than I wanted to spend, so I decided that I would try to learn how to do it myself. I watched a Chris Fix video on YouTube, took some notes, and I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm only going to try to replace the rotors at this time because they told me that the pads had about 7 millimeters of thickness left. So I think that's more than 50% wear on the brake pads, so hopefully they should still be good. So for right now, I'm just going to do the rotors. A lot of these tools I did not have. I bought them specifically for this project, but I think with everything, I'm under $300. From the video, Chris recommended having or needing a socket set, a breaker bar, a torque wrench, metal wire brushes, and a brake piston compression tool. Also to have a hammer and a flathead to pry the calipers if needed. I also needed to get some jack stands, which I did not have, and I'm going to use the jack that comes with the vehicle. We also need copper anti-seize, silicone paste, brake parts cleaner, and thread locker. I also bought some gloves, which I didn't have, just in case. Other than that, I bought the brake rotors, front and rear. Don't know which one's which. I haven't opened the boxes yet, but we will find out. Step one, right there, it says lift car and remove tires. Let's go. Two is remove the brake pads. We're going to turn the steering wheel and find the bolts at the back of the caliper so that we can pry open the caliper and pivot it upward, and then remove the brake pads. Okay, we might try to do the breaker bar. Go. Go. Okay. I'm going to dangle this. Now to remove the brake pads. The caliper, don't let it dangle on the line. Then remove the caliper bracket, 2 bolts of the caliper bracket. Bottom one. Tough. bracket. What's next? Okay, got the 2 bolts. Remove the rotor. Spin and hit with a hammer if needed. Might need to hit it with a hammer, apparently. Not working. But my ears are not liking that. Okay, so it's been a little bit of a pain. Just hitting it with a hammer was not working. So I had to go back online on YouTube, and I found a different strategy. I didn't film it, but basically you get a bolt with a nut, maybe a washer in my case, because this was too small, and you know, thread it through the bracket here, the top and bottom, and then keep adding pressure, turning onto the bolt until the rotor breaks loose. I hit it a few times as well. I put some brake cleaner to try to break off some of the rust, and then I used this strategy, and that actually worked. So now I can move on to the next step. So the next step is to use the wire brush to remove some of the rust from the hub surface. Apparently these brand new rotors come with oils, so before we put them on the car, we have to clean them with the brake cleaner. Put the new rotor back on and secure it with a lug nut while we assemble the rest. Reassemble the caliper bracket. Tighten these to around 90 pound-feet of torque. Now we use the brake caliper compression tool to compress the piston. Okay, next we do some anti-seize on the back of the pad. Okay, now we're going to reassemble the caliper. Tighten to 25 pound-feet of torque. after that, we're supposed to reassemble all the tires. But since I only did this one, I have to go do the other side and then the rear. And I also want to rotate the tires, so I'm not going to do that step just yet. So it's a new day. I finished this side yesterday, but I feel like I rushed the ending a little bit. So I'm going to go back and try to clean some of the parts that I didn't clean with the brake cleaner. And I missed adding silicone to the guide pins. So I've already removed the caliper, and I realized that the guide pins were here and here in this car. So I'm going to take those out, clean them with the cleaner, and then add some silicone paste to them. Alright, I just finished replacing all 4 rotors and rotating the tires. Now we just have to turn the car on and pump the brakes until they harden. Quick tip. So I had quite a difficult time taking out the old rotors on at least, I think 3 of the rotors, 3 of the 4. They were seized to the hub due to the rust, and I tried hitting them with a hammer, and it wasn't working. And then I also tried the method that worked on the first brakes in the front. In the rear, using a screw, going through the back and kind of trying to push them out with a screw. That didn't work in the rear brakes. So what I found out is that you can actually get two M8 1.25 bolts and screw them into these holes that are already tapped into the rotors. So you stick them into the rotor, you take your socket wrench, and then you turn it until you hear a pop from the rotor separating from the hub. And then you do the other one, same process, keep tightening until the rotor comes out. And it's much quicker, simpler, and you don't have to keep banging away at the rotor and damaging it further like I damaged mine.